Welcome to a big edition of In the Box Seats. So we're on the eve of Magic Millions National Classic Night. So the weather is good for a change.
You don't mention that, Mitch. We don't talk about the weather.
No, I'm pretty confident this time around.
Yes, we've got beautiful sunshine outside, so hopefully it's going to stick that way. We're going to have a great night tomorrow night.
Big special guest joining us too,
We
Paul
do.
Shailer.
Hey team, how are we?
Welcome to the
coming on the
show.
show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
It's been a great last 12 months for the stable, as you did outline that when you had a chat to Adam and I a while ago, that this team coming through, these 2 and 3 year olds, that you expected them to hit the ground and hopefully run well, and that's what they're doing for you and the stable.
Yeah, I guess it's been a building process, guys. Just with the new client base and selecting new young stock, and as I said, they've hit the ground running, which has been fortunate, and we're sort of starting to reap the rewards, I guess. With some nice runners and some good races recently.
Like you said to us that you've spent good money on buying good quality too at the yearling sales. That you expect these horses to go out and perform, but they do have to do it. But in saying that, they are.
Yeah, they are. But as my brother pointed out to me about 20 minutes ago, the 3 fillies that we've got. Or the 4 2-year-olds we've got racing on over the weekend. Esty Star on Friday night is a lease horse. So she was free. Harpenny Hatch in the Bill Carter cost $33,000. On Point Pixie in the Bill Carter cost $15,000, and Colour Girl cost $40,000.
And it just shows they don't know their price tag, do they?
No, it doesn't. So. Good for owners, those owners who have come in at that budget, and they get to race for obviously $1 million here on Friday night, and the other fillies go around for a bit of black type, which increases their residual value. So exciting.
Let's touch upon Friday night with Esty Star. Obviously, trialled up strongly pre-Christmas, before the debut. All sort of went wrong there. She was immediately spelled, but she's come back in. Was it the idea to run 1200 first up, or was it just how the program panned out?
Yeah, well, we had her in numerous races, and she kept drawing wide in the rain. Meetings were abandoned, and heavy tracks, and then our hand was just forced. We've just got to give this filly a run. And first up over 200 metres in a listed race wasn't ideal, but I thought she did a great job.
Yeah, you must have been stoked with the performance that day.
Yeah, I was, because she drew wide as well, so she had to burn across. But she gave a really good kick at the 300. I let out half a yelp for a minute, and then she just got tired late, which she was entitled to do. But improved significantly off the back of that, and then we've seen what she did at Ipswich, and obviously lesser grade, but she's very dominant.
Yeah, it was sort of that kill that she probably needed to have to go up back to this level again.
Yeah, definitely. Give her a bit of confidence, because a few things have gone wrong along the way. But she's the ultimate professional, and it was great to see her draw barrier 1 Friday night, so that's a bonus.
Yeah, because the debut she drew off the track, and
9 and 9.
Yeah.
And then outside in the Calway Gal as well.
Well, you made sure you got the right barrier for the $1 million race, not that little.
We don't want to do that.
No. Steve Lyons' wife, Kylie, owns Vain Girl, so we better not touch upon the prize money too much of that race. But it's a competitive race, very hard to line up. I was just sort of doing the form before. There's mixing form lines. They've all sort of come from far and wide. We've got the Rich Tycoon from Victoria, who looks good, winning at Caulfield. Mick Price and Mick Kent Jr. have got one that bolted in at Terang and then was beaten as an odds-on favourite. So it's a real tricky race, unlike the race in January, where it's a bit more exposed form and you sort of know what you're going to get.
Absolutely, and a bit of licorice horse, like you say. Trent Natalie's horse obviously looks pretty smart, but it's going to have to do it the tough way.
Yeah, it's drawn 16.
16 from the 1,000-metre start here is not easy, right? So, and like you say, Mick Price's horse looked good on debut, but has since been beaten, and it's just 2-year-olds, anything can happen, can't they? It's you just need a bit of luck and the right run in the race, and hopefully from barrier 1, that's us.
I think a good push for your filly is Michael Rod getting down to 55.
Yeah, I know. He's been driving me mad too. Wait, is it going to make the field? Is it going to make the field? Because she was number 13 of 12 acceptors, and then Nathan Doyle didn't accept with his horse, Hidden Motive. So she jumped up to number 12 or 12 and got the ace barrier, and he's going to do 55 kilos.
For those that don't know, Michael, 56 is normally a cut-off point for him. So for him to get to 55 shows he thinks he's got a live chance in the race. You've got a good team in tomorrow night. The $75,000 Class 4 plate, which has brought together a good field. Great programming. Scud was excellent in the silk stocking. Must have given you a real thrill. She got black type next to her name as well. And another 50 yards. She was starting to mow down the leader.
Yeah, she was. She's a mare that's just on an upward spiral. She's come a long way from winning a maiden at Taree. And I think it took her 4 or 5 runs to break her maiden status. So she's since then become a midweek mare, and then to Saturday Metropolitan, and now she's listed or stakes placed, as you say. I was only saying to Adam earlier that she's very deep into her preparation, and I've been very mindful of that over the last few weeks. But she's just come through that silk stocking run like you wouldn't believe. She looks $1 million. And this just looked like a really nice race for her, being plate conditions where she got 6 or 7 points for running second the other night. So it's going to be tough sort of to place her in Saturday grade, but she gets in beautifully at the weights under plate conditions, and she's got a little bit of an awkward gait to contend with, but she's as honest as they come. Yeah,
she's very versatile. You can go forward or go back on her. A number of her races she's come from back in the field.
Yeah, she's led in one. I think she led in one over 1,000 metres to win her maiden. And as you say, she's come from back here and when she's won. So we'll get to see how the track's playing, I guess, with the first few races and make a plan, but she'll be competitive for sure.
We won't touch upon all of them tomorrow night, but Certify is a nice colt by Justify. He makes his debut in the first.
Yeah, he won't be running, unfortunately. Right. So I had a gallop on here on Tuesday morning on the course profile. Worked good, but he just wasn't happy with the way he pulled up, so he won't take his place this week.
He's a nice colt going forward, though.
He's a beautiful horse, a horse I've got a really, really high opinion of. And we'll just put him away, look after him, and he'll be back for some nice Rio races in the spring.
Speaking of preparations and getting the team together, it's a team effort, and it's a bit of a family affair for you around the stables. Tell us a little bit about that.
A bit of a family affair. That's an understatement. We've got a football side. So between my wife, Shell, and I, we've got 8 kids.
Yeah,
so,
wow.
Yeah, it's...
literally football.
Yeah, it's unreal. So with the youngest being 2 identical twin boys.
Wow.
You might have seen them around. They are out of control. But they come to the stables often, and a couple of the younger ones, Boston and Auckland, they help in the mornings before school. So they were there this morning mucking out boxes and pitching in. So they get the Shailer racing gear on and cheer the horses home. It's really good. It's special to be able to sort of do it with them, and something we can. If we can win a big race this weekend, something we can sort of all enjoy together. Absolutely.
Are any of them going to take the throne and start training anytime soon?
I think they're all a bit young. But the oldest one are girls. 17 is Coda and 16 is Georgia. They're probably not so interested. And then underneath them is Indiana and Savannah, who 2 other girls who are probably not so interested. In Boston, he's in there having a dig, but he's only 10. So.
Maybe.
He might have to wait a while, and then Auckland and the twins. Well, they're only 8, and the boys are 2 next month. So they've got a bit to go yet.
But at 10, he's good for a broom and a shovel.
He's having a dig. Having to give him a spray too often. So no written warnings yet, but he's doing a good job.
Excellent. Touch upon last Saturday, Deep Focus ran through the roof, and the Rough Habit Plate has given you a live chance in the Queensland Derby.
And he is exactly why we bought the horse. We identified him at the New Zealand Ready to Run sales. We thought he would be a Derby horse, even though he's by Deep Field, but he's out of a Zabeel mare, and there's a lot of Zabeel about him. He's a big, tall, rangy colt, and his whole prep has been pointed at the Queensland Derby. So he'll stay and he can sprint, so it'll take him a long way. And I thought last weekend was a fantastic Derby trial. Just getting back and relaxing and running on. So really excited. He's come through it really well too. So fingers crossed he can draw, inside 7 or something, and he'll be competitive.
He's a horse that you've had a lot of time for because he was heavily back to win here on debut. Yeah,
he's showing us a lot the whole way through, and he was sharp enough to win over 7 furlongs,
Yep.
which was really good to see. And then we took him straight to town. He ran second to Good Luck to Me, I think it
Yep.
was, who then come around second in the Daybreak Lover.
Yep.
Then he ran a placing behind David Van Dyke's filly, who won the Princess Stakes.
Yep.
Then he ran 5th behind Depth of Character, who went and won the Queensland Guineas. So his form really stacks up.
Yep.
And I was shocked the other day that he was 50 to 1 actually in that race. And but it was just good to see him get back, relax, attack the line, because it was just perfect from a Derby perspective.
And speaking of the Derby, it now looks real open after a 50 to 1 shot beat home a 50 to 1 shot.
Yeah.
None of the favourites really fired in the Rough Habit, which is the traditional lead up.
Yes.
Obviously, you were on testing ground last week, but it really has opened the race up. We've got some horses coming from South Australia derbies now. They've sort of earmarked the race as well. It doesn't look a straightforward year this year.
No, it looks like anyone's race,
Yeah.
doesn't it? Yeah, and I wouldn't swap my horse for anyone.
No.
I honestly believe that that he is a really live chance, and I've, not in my own right, but I've had a lot to do with some pretty good horses,
Yeah.
with Chris and Derbies and Oaks and whatnot. So I feel like I can sort of identify what horse it needs to take to win a Derby, and I hand him hard. I believe he's the one.
You got 3 fillies, as you mentioned, in the Bill Carter on Saturday.
Yeah.
Can you pick one out from the other, or?
Oh, well, Harpenny Hatch probably picks herself.
Yeah.
She's already stakes placed, and she's already proven at 1400. So, although she's been up a little while, but we've tried to space her runs, and we've followed the same profile as we did into the Kelway Girl this weekend, where she's 3 or 4 weeks between runs, with a trial on the Tuesday before the Saturday. So she trialled out here Tuesday, trialled beautifully. Just went through the motions, didn't ask her to do anything. She pulled up fantastic, and she takes her place in a race where she'll start first or second. I think she's second favourite, and she'll run accordingly. On Point Pixie has yet to win a race, but has run into a couple of nice ones.
Yep.
Got a bit of form around them. So again, proven at 1400. She's raced well at the 7 furlongs. And Carla Girl comes out of the Ken Russell here, where she ran 6th. Obviously the dominant winner in the race, but the sort of rest of the field was bunched behind them, and she didn't disgrace herself, but she's got to prove herself at the 1400. Blinkers go on for the first time. Work's been good. She's 100 to 1, but I think she'll race better than that.
Who knows where that winner's going to? They've earmarked him as an Everest horse, or all sorts of things happen after his win the other day. That 6th place, he mightn't be too bad down the track. I just wanted to touch upon, you're a big fan of tick over trials Monday early in the week, racing them Friday, Saturday. I saw it a lot in Sydney, that trainers would use the Monday trials at Rose Hill and run them at Randwick or Rose Hill on the Saturday. You're a big believer in that?
It's just a Chris Waller model. So,
and it works.
And I think before the Chris Waller model was the John Size model,
Yeah.
right? So they're two pretty handy blokes to be.
Yeah, John's 5 in front in another premiership in Hong Kong.
Yeah, so no, it's just what I learnt. I love it, and it's just what it does. And for one, it gives you a grass option. If there's no grasses here, you get to go on the grass. 2, it gets them over here where they tie up with a bit of environment, a bit of atmosphere going on, so it gets the blood pumping a little bit rather than just walking out like they do every other day for a track gallop. So just a little stimulation, and then they can go out there, get behind the barriers. They get a little bit competitive, but make sure they're well held, and they sort of just bounce right out of it and get to the races ready to rumble.
Some of them you couldn't possibly back off their trials. They're that quiet, but they're there on game day. We had Declan Maher on the show, who's just recently moved here to the Gold Coast.
Next door to me.
Their model is, very much into data and how racehorse training has changed over the, through the 2000s to this era, and now that, data and punching it out to owners. And are you into that sort of frame, or you still like the older school?
Yeah, I'm pretty old school because I'm not that smart.
Yeah. It's a real technical.
I just numbers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we use the saddle blank, the stride length, and the heart rate, and all the rest of it. And whilst I find it a good tool, I certainly don't train off it. And 99% of the time, the data that you download sort of reflects what you were already thinking.
Yep.
But I guess Kieran and Declan and them, that they've sort of taken it to a whole nother level.
Yep.
And which you respect them for. But yeah, I'm just sort of a little bit old school, you know, oats and corn. Yeah. Feed them hard, work them accordingly, and the cream rises to the top.
Yeah. We've touched upon a number of runners. Is there one other horse coming through the ranks at home that you're looking forward or going to let the covers off over the next couple of weeks?
Well, it was going to be certified.
Yep.
So it's been a little bit disappointing, really, because I was really looking forward to getting into the races. I thought he might have been an outside chance of getting to the JJ.
Yep.
But that is not going to be the case anytime soon. But yeah, I got a really nice 2-year-old in the paddock, Lipizania, the Spitzel colt. That he was obviously scratched on race morning as well. He's due to come back the next week or so, so he'll be a really nice early spring colt.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few others, but I can't.
I know you're a Kiwi, so you won't tell us the full truth. Semi-truth.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're
I've got a big family to feed.
Yeah, that's right.
I need the best dogs.
What else? Thanks. That's a big chat. That's great. You've covered a lot.
There's a lot of kids.
Yeah.
$1,200 a week, my grocery bill.
Thank you, Paul. Thanks for coming on the show, and we wish you all the best for Friday night and obviously the weekend ahead as well.
Appreciate it.
$1,200 a week.
Yeah, literally. It's no lies. Costco gets a very good deal.
You might have to get sponsored by them.
Yeah, I should.
Thanks for joining us, Paul.
Cheers, guys.
Terrific.
Thank you.
Thank you.